Why dating apps suck and what can be done to fix them. The dating apps have a big problem. People are dropping out of the apps like crazy, and the stock prices of the major dating apps have tanked anywhere from like 60 to 80% over the past couple of years. Companies like Bumble have announced that they need to lay off 30% of their global workforce. And the CEO is saying, "Oh, we're going to reorganize, and we're going to become nimble. We're going to become like a startup company." And no, none of that will not work. The reason why people are dropping out of the dating apps is because they suck. They don't work. They are extremely frustrating to use and just are not delivering on the promise of finding people love. That is why they fail. And the title of this YouTube video is 2025 is the last year for dating apps because they're getting so bad that people are just not into dating apps anymore. And if these companies do not change, they are just going to continue to spiral. I'm primarily talking about the three big ones, which are Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, which all basically operate in exactly the same way and they all have exactly the same problems which need to be addressed. So the first problem is they are all way too expensive. They're crazy expensive. So these things are like between $40 to $60 a month. They even have the audacity to give their pricing by the week. So even 1 week of these dating services would cost $14 to $33. Now, what other web application charges this much? It's like almost anything else, like Netflix or YouTube or Hulu or any of these other applications, typically are in like the $15 a month range, not $15 a week. And the main problem is that the subscriptions that you are buying, they work by putting basic tools that you need to use the app behind these paywalls. So basically, they are handicapping the application. If you don't pay, then we're going to handicap the application, which of course makes it suck. And most of these features don't guarantee you any kind of result or deliver you any kind of value. So, for example, you might be able to swipe right more. You might be able to send like what is called, say, a super like, which I just really don't know how that appeals to anybody. And mostly these types of things only appeal to men because the problem is that in order for men to get any action on these websites, they have to get a match. And so they do things like allow people to see likes. And it's like women, they don't need to see likes because they get a million likes. But that sort of thing only applies to men. Now, some of the other things like Tinder, they're moving to like allow you to filter by height, which appeals to women. But once again, those things should be all included in the application. It's just a huge conflict of interest that in order to get a useful dating app, you are forced to pay, right? So what is the fix for this? Well, I would say that, even though a lot of these dating applications do make money off of ads, but they need to move to probably 100% all ad-based revenue. So if other social media sites can get away without charging people outrageous amounts of money, then why can't these dating applications do it? It's like, people spend an average of like an hour, at least an hour a day on these dating applications. And if you can't make money off of that, then I don't know what your problem is. The other key would be to bring down your monthly subscription to some reasonable price, say $15 or less. I mean, I know probably the in the boardroom of these companies, they are probably trying to figure out how to charge even more, since their model is obviously to charge a few people an enormous amount of money and pretty much screw everybody else. I mean, I think Tinder, they have like a $500 a month subscription level, and it's like, what on earth could that possibly bring you? It's like none of the tools that they have are going to help you get any more matches if you have a very bad profile. You know, there's a guy who swiped 2 million times and got like one date. And why is that? Because if you have a bad profile, there is nothing the social media company can do or the dating company can do to make anyone compelled to right swipe on your picture of you holding your fish. It's not worth it. And so if you work like other social media companies or like say YouTube, what the subscription should do is uh, like reduce the ads, right? So whether you have a subscription or not is not changing how you are able to use the application. Everyone should get the best possible features that they need out of the dating application without having to pay for them. Anything that you pay for should either like reduce the annoyance of ads or somehow give you an unfair advantage or be selling you actual services that you know are bringing you actual value. And I will go over some of those possible revenue sources a little bit later. But another thing that they need to change is the basic conflict of interest that if their application succeeds, then they're going to have two people just drop off their service. So the dating apps are incentivized to not find your person. This is such a huge conflict of interest. So to combat that, I would suggest that these applications should expand to be more like Facebook in that you want to make it a relationship-based social media platform. You know, the profiles should be set so that if you do find your person on the dating app, that you should then be able to combine your profiles into, say, a couple's profile. And then the couple's profile should then be able to use the application to find similar couples who have similar interests. So if some people like to go to, say, football games, they should be able to search for going out with couples who like to do similar things, or if people want to do hiking or other kind of things. So we need to expand the application's reach from just finding romantic interests to say finding friends, finding people to chat with, and finding people, you know, with in general with similar interests, so that once the app is successful in joining together two people, that they don't drop off the app. In fact, they stay on, they create a joint profile, and they celebrate, where the places they go, what cute dates they have, and it would also serve as a place that people can go and see success stories, and you can follow the cutest couples, and you can follow their stories, and that is just once again another way to engage and keep people on the app even when they have already found the love of their life. So that's what I think you need to do in order to stop this humongous conflict of interest where you charge people to use basic features and you have the incentive to not find keep people on the app by not finding your match. The next problem is that the dating apps are just way too lopsided. There are just way too many men and too few women. I mean, I believe the statistic on Tinder is just like it's something like 80% men and 20% women. And what this leads to is just nobody is happy because the women, as soon as they log in with their new profile, they get like 500 matches within the first hour. And that is just overwhelming. That is just too much. That causes a lot of decision fatigue. And then on the other side, the men, they don't get any likes. They might be lucky after they create their profile to get like one like a week, maybe. And so that is just extremely, extremely discouraging. I mean, the only redeeming factor here is that, somehow one woman has to match with one lucky guy and then they go out. It's like the overall success rate, of course, has to be the same. So, because that somebody has, it takes a man, it just to match with a woman, but the experience is just extremely, extremely frustrating. And the video that I have here with 99 likes and 0 likes, and this other one with 0 matches, explains just how frustrating, just how that happens due to just there being just way so many men on the application. And it is completely frustrating for the men because, once again, they cannot do anything unless they get a match, which forces them to like everybody, which once again leads to overwhelming the women. And then the women, they complain that the people that they are matching with, unfortunately, because they have so much choice, they want to, of course, pick the best people on the application. So generally speaking, the most popular, like the top, they say like the top 10% of men get like half of all the likes. And of course, these men all turn out to be jerks because all they want is just to have bedroom fun. Uh, they don't respond to messages. They're just a bunch of spoiled brats, right? So the experiences that women get is absolutely horrible. They're all picking the same guys, and the guys are all acting like jerks, and they're totally leaving 90% of the men in the dust that would otherwise be perfectly good matches. But this presentation of just way too many matches is just not working. I mean, the three major uh, applications are all basically the same. They all rely on this right swipe, left swipe. You can't contact them until you get a match thing. And that is the root of the problem. Now, I think these applications, that would be kind of handy to have, and you can keep that for people, an option that says, show me who you think I want. But there needs to be a change, and I believe that change should be to put back the ability to search on specific characteristics. Now, other dating apps in the past do let you do this, so you can search on the things that you are specifically searching for. So it, and they should be able to search on the things that people want. So if a woman wants to match someone who makes $100,000, who's over 6 feet tall, and goes to the gym, you should do that. So when you log in and you create your profile, you have to go and fill in all of these things so that people can narrow down what is going on. Now, of course, the problem with doing that is that, once again, the top 10% is going to dominate. And then we're going to be back to this whole problem that everyone's picking the same person and everyone's still going to be completely frustrated. but at least in the case where the woman is searching for the man who has all the sixes, she'll quickly find that there are only like two people in the entire 100-mile range who actually meet that. So they'll get some idea of how unrealistic what they are asking for actually is. But in order to level the playing field, I think what we need to do is that we need to create an app currency that makes it more expensive to message that top 10%. So the way this works is that when you first come on the app, you're given like say an average rating to start with. But if like 100 people try to message you, then that will immediately push you up into the above average popularity segment. And what that will do is that, for example, let's say you were messaging someone who is in the same popularity, that might be free or very low cost. But if you are like below average and you're trying to message a above average popular person, that is going to cost you a lot more. Say it might cost like say $20, and or it could be more. It could be like Uber's surge pricing, where what we're trying to do is that we're trying to reduce the number of people who are presented to these popular people so that they don't see 400, likes in the first hour. It's like they should see, like, if they're very popular, they should see maybe immediately 20 likes, and from from the being average. But then as soon as they are hiked into the above average popularity, then it increases and may increase exponentially. But the reason why this is good, because it presents actually a revenue opportunity. Just like games have in-game currency, you do things that will earn currency. So, for example, logging on earns you currency, looking at people's profiles earns you currency, and responding to people should earn you currency. And another possibility is that if you earn enough currency, you can exchange that into real dollars. So it's possible that we can attract the most attractive people, and this is what we need to do. You need to attract more women into the dating apps. You need to attract more attractive men and women into the dating apps. And so if you bring in the possibility that you could actually earn a bit of money. I mean, it shouldn't be so much that people just like try and make careers out of this. So, a reasonably attractive person should be able to make, maybe $10 or $20 a day just responding to people who are like out of their league or something like that. But it's a way of making revenue which doesn't handicap the ability of the application to find matches. And it also gives the opportunity for, the short, fat, but rich person to go ahead and actually have a shot at the top tier people, right? And those are the people that you should be trying to earn money off of. Those people for whom money is no object. If they want to spend $200 to contact the model who has a profile, then let them do it, because people, they just want to have a shot, right? So the way this, like I said, this would work is that you need to create a popularity index, and I think that index should be visible to the people so that they have an idea of where they actually realistically sit, because the way that dating apps work currently is that they just create absolute delusional uh, thoughts amongst, say, women who think that they're all that because they get the 400 likes, and no, that's just completely delusional. So when you provide that index, people can see where they sit, and say if you're in below average popularity, then that should give you an incentive to improve your profile so that you can increase your popularity. So you kind of, in order to, it's a gamification kind of thing, but you need to give people feedback on how they're doing, and so that they can go and try and work to improve their situation. So, but once again, what we need to do is we need to decrease the lopsidedness. Any dating application should shoot for a population of 50% women and 50% men. Okay? Because whenever it's lopsided, then we get this behavior where a bunch of people get a bunch of likes and a lot of people don't get any, which is extremely frustrating. It's exhausting for the women. It creates so much uh, fatigue, and that's one of the main reasons why people are dropping out of the apps is because of the fatigue. And so these things, I mean, you would have to work on tuning this. Maybe you want to be able to set it so that a person doesn't receive, say, more than a set amount of contacts per day. And they can set that. Maybe they only want to see 10 contacts today. Or maybe they want to see 20 contacts today. Or maybe they want to really make money, so they want to interact with 100 contacts per day to get as much in-app currency as they possibly can. But another idea would be, instead of these companies spending so much money spamming us with ads on YouTube or whatnot, to actually send people out in the real world in popular cities to go find the most popular people and pay them to sign up. Because you need to stock the pond, right? You need to stock the pond with these attractive people. That is what will make people come to the app and stay, is if they see these super attractive people. And if they have the currency to message them, they'll see that it's a possibility, right? It's not like impossible. Like right now, if a guy sees a super attractive girl, swipes right, it's like he's got no chance with her. None. There's just, zero. Because that woman is just never going to swipe right on him. But, if the guy has the opportunity to spend like, $20 to put his face in front of that girl, that's fair. And if that girl earns, like $2 by responding to him, then that's great. Then her time is paid for. So everyone would win in this kind of situation. Now, the next problem is that there are just freaking too many scammers on these websites. Just literally clogged with fake profiles, married people. It's like, I think Tinder said that like 67% of the people on there are married. That's unbelievable, and just outright scammers. I mean, these pig slaughtering scams are just rampant. And if you haven't heard what those are, is what happens is that you'll get a message, you'll get a like, and then you'll get a match, and then they'll sit there and they will chat with you, and eventually they'll say, "Oh, I've just done this investment here and I made, 100% of my money." And then they'll get you to invest like a little bit of money, like you'll invest $50 and you'll get like $150 and you'll get really excited. And then you'll put in $1,000 and you'll get $2,000 back. And then you'll put in $30,000 and then you won't hear from them. It's like, deep, there went all your money. And that's called the pig slaughter uh, scam. And these are run by buildings full of people sitting in Dubai or some other foreign country. That's all they do all day. It's so incredibly bad and so incredibly frustrating that, as a man, you might get that one match a week, but you find out that 90% of those matches, yeah, all scammers, every single one of them. And how can you tell they're scammers? Well, because they will never actually meet you, because they're sitting in a desk in Dubai. Of course, they can't meet you. So the best way to filter these people out is immediately tell them that I want to meet you and I do not give away my personal contact information without meeting you. Because the first thing a scammer will do is that they'll try to get you off the platform. They'll try to say, oh, text me on your phone, let's go to WhatsApp. They'll do everything to get you off the platform because they know that you will eventually find out they're a scammer, you'll report them, you'll shut their account down. So they want to get you off of that platform as soon as possible, and also so that they can then use that same platform to go talk with somebody else, some other victim. So there are just so many scammers. The place is just a cesspool. In the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Maybe it didn't used to be that bad before, but people have been reporting that dating apps have gone just completely downhill, and it's because one of the reasons is because they are just filled with scammers. So what is the fix? We need to drain the swamp. Number one, the dating apps need to implement a way of implementing positive verification, at least photo ID. Now, some of the major applications like Hinge, do implement photo IDs. There are commercial options such as ID.me that say the government uses that can precisely identify a person, and tie them to their social security number and their financial information. And this is something which absolutely needs to be done for everyone. It's ridiculous that on Hinge, you have the unverified people, and once again, everyone I have encountered on Hinge who is not verified has in fact been a scammer, right? So why let these people exist? It should be actually, so a scammer in Dubai should not ever be able to create an ID, right? And even, it should require your picture, your social security, an address, something that's verifiable. But even if they manage to create an ID, they should not be able to get back on. So, if it is actually just an independent scammer who's using their real pictures and their real identification, if you break the rules or you're found out to be a scammer, you should not be able to get back on. Now, another, I know, controversial aspect is that I think that the applications need to rebrand themselves to only allow serious relationships or make it possible for the people who are actually looking for the serious relationship, which is like 70% of the people would say they're actually looking for relationships and not a one night stand or a hookup. You need to be able to separate those people out. Now, either do that by making a completely different application. So, if you have Tinder, you should rebrand to make something like Tender or something completely different, which is definitely rebranded to be only for people who want to be in serious relationships. And once again, this is a feature that will attract more women into the dating app. And there also needs to be known that there is a strict code of conduct, so no dick pics, no people who are just there for hookups, no people who are just rude, and there should be people that constantly monitor and remove people who violate these rules. I mean, I think you should be so strict as to put in a rule, for example, no sex on the first date, right? And if you have sex on the first date, you can be permanently removed from the app. So that might seem a little bit rash, but You need a way of kicking out the people who are there who just want to have hookups. And let's just face it, all of the existing apps, the big ones, they're just there to promote hookups. So let's create an application which is designed to do the opposite. Now, in order to enforce, these conduct rules, I think that once again, a controversial move, but add a rating system. So if you behave badly, there will be consequences. Others will know, right? So, but it shouldn't be about, whether you really like them, whether you're romantically, but it should be things like, was the profile accurate, right? 0 to 5 stars. How far did you get with them? Did you message them? Did you actually go out with them? Did you have a long-term relationship with them? What is their timeliness? Do they show up on time? Things like that. So that, if you're going to be a jerk, you're going to get 1 starred, okay? And that is going to decrease your chances on the application, because one of the big problems is that people just feel like they've got no accountability on these apps. If they screw over someone, if they ghost someone, it's just like there's no consequences. But another thing would be, people would be able to see positive reviews. Someone says, "Oh, he took me on a romantic boat trip or something, or some restaurant or something, and paid for it," and that would help encourage people and to know that you're dealing with a real person and a person that can treat you right. Now, another possibility would be that for security, to build in people search capabilities so that you can check whether these people are already married, whether they have criminal records. And once again, this is a way that dating apps can make extra money without handicapping the ability of the app. And you are getting something that's of definite value. So we need to do something to get rid of the scammers. Now, another problem is that when you're initially contacting people, it's through text, which is, come on, people, it's 2025. Text is slow, it's awkward. I mean, how much can you text? I mean, and some people try and text, a huge amount, which is just annoying. And, a single conversation of 5 minutes will get more information across than like a week worth of texting. So it's just a disaster on mobile phones. So the fix here should be to support video calls, and some of the other big dating systems do actually support video calls. I believe Bumble does. Really, the first interaction that you get with someone should be conveniently by a video chat. So you can check them out, you can make sure they're real. Another place where you should be able to use videos is in the profiles. So, you can hear and see their body language, and this is much harder to fake. And in general, I think, as with the first ideas about expanding the usefulness of your app, is that your profile should be more like social media, like your Facebook thing, where you're posting pictures, you're posting videos, you're reposting links, so that people get a better idea of who you are. But it would be concentrating specifically on relation type things rather than just like anything. So that would be helpful. And another thing for video is to be able to chat with anyone that is online. So whenever you log onto the system, you should be able to search by, well, who is online? And you should be able to look who's online and look at their profile, and then ask to do a live video chat. And once again, this is another opportunity where you can generate revenue. So you can charge your in-app currency to make a video chat. And once again, you could make that cost dependent on their popularity. So if you're a low popularity person trying to video chat a high popularity person, it's going to cost you more, which is going to discourage you from chatting out of your league. And on the other side, when you're just sitting on the app, you could get this notification saying someone wants to chat with you. And you could see, go look at their profile and see how much they're offering to chat with you. And you could then go ahead and chat. I mean, this is much more organic than being either being presented with people from an algorithm or trying to directly search for specific characteristics. Like when you go into a bar, it's just like it's whoever is there, right? It's not like I'm going to exclude everyone who's less than 6 feet, I mean more than, or by uh, any arbitrary characteristic, or I'm only going to see the people that the bartender has presented in front of me one at a time. I mean, that is completely unnatural, but that is exactly what dating apps are doing. So I think it would be great if they could be this great equalizer where people just show up and then you pick amongst the people who are there. Another thing I think that would be useful is to support moderated Zoom sessions. These Zoom sessions can take hundreds of people, and you can talk about topics that are relevant to dating, like who has it worse, men or women on dating. You can start a topic like that and encourage people to interact, and then people can see these other people, how intelligent they are, what they say, whether they like or dislike what they say, and then if they like them, then they can go and do a private chat and get to know people that way. And finally, some of these apps say that, oh yes, we are going to have like these events and such, but I've never actually seen, like Tinder or anybody actually organize any kind of event in real life, right? There should be this advantage. The big advantage with dating applications is because these people are actually single and interested in meeting people. I mean, the reason why people don't approach other people, especially attractive people, is because they think they must already be in a relationship, and chances are they are in a relationship. So that's the real problem, that you don't want to approach someone who's already in a relationship. They're going to say, oh, I already have a boyfriend. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's really the main problem. Not so much rejection. It's just that the chance of that attractive person being single is just vanishingly small. But the dating app creates a pool of people who are in fact are all open, all in the same boat. And so if you could just get those people together, it would be great. And so I think there should be some capability to, for example, create events. So Facebook, for example, has the ability to create events. Any person can go and say, okay, we're all going to meet at this bar at 7 o'clock on Friday. Who's coming? Right? Then you can get people to join up with your activity. It doesn't have to cost any money. It doesn't have to be organized by the dating company itself, but it just provides a way for people to organically meet in the app. And the trick being that you have to be in the app in order to see these events and then to go to those events, right? Hopefully people create compelling events that start gathering, get some momentum and get a gathering, so that people are primarily using the app to find out what these events are and who is going, and to contact these people, even before the event or after the event. So those are the ideas I think they need to implement in order to have better communication. So in conclusion, the big dating apps, I'm talking to you, Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, the CEO of those guys, you need to change the way you are operating. Because if you don't, you're going to die. Adapt or die. One final comment I would have to say is that it I would suggest, in order to remove this huge conflict of interest between making money and providing features, is that someone should open an open source dating app project. And that would remove this gigantic incentive to have to make money. So there must be enough bored nerds who want a better dating app who can put this together, especially with all the AI tools today. Can someone please create a dating app which is not influenced by corporate greed? Because, to summarize, we need to make the dating apps more affordable, right? You just cannot keep charging just an enormous amount of problems. Just an enormous amount of money to a small number of people to basically put back basic features into your application, right? You can't do that. You can't make money by handicapping your application. And then we need to make things more fair. We need to stop this business with all the women getting all the likes and all the men getting nothing. It should be a fair shot for everyone. It's like in horse racing, they have the concept of handicapping. And that if you have a super fast horse, what you do is you put weights on that horse so that it gives a possibility that all the horses have an even chance, no matter what their basic ability is. And the things that I've suggested in this video will do that. They'll give everybody a shot. And the more you're dating out of your league, the more opportunity you as a dating application have to make money. And of course, we need to drain the swamp, get rid of so many scammers. I mean, both women, both men, they all encounter scammers. It's just an insane number of scammers. Get rid of them. And finally, come up with more organic ways to meet people. You have a group of people who are hard to find, which are the single people who are looking, right? You utilize that to make it so that people can meet in more organic fashions. It's just like I said, if people are just logged on, whoever's on there should be able to message whoever happens to be there. Could be anybody, right? So it's like I don't understand how these big dating companies can think that artificial intelligence does a better job of selecting who I want to date than me. So that's why I think that they should bring back searching capability into dating apps. Let me search out what exactly I am looking for. And you can also still keep your swipe left, swipe right thing, and there can still be likes, but that's not a determination of whether you can actually talk to these people or contact them or not, right? Everyone should be able to have a chance, a level playing field. So I hope somebody in charge of some of these dating apps, gets a hold of this and decides to implement this, or someone contact me about making our own open source dating app, because it is just absolutely sickening the way dating apps work now. Let's go and fix it. So thank you for your time.